You got people like David Goggins and Alex Hormozi. Well, maybe not them. You got Iman Gadzhi, Chris Williamson, Stephen Bartlett. Heck, you might even be able to throw Andrew Huberman into that mix. Promoting the self-help idea of ice baths, saunas, journaling, waking up as early as possible. Now, for some entrepreneurs, this actually helps them stay focused. Not only that, it actually helps them not get burnt out. But for most entrepreneurs, it's basically productivity porn, which is just mental masturbation that they use to not do the work that they actually need to do. That's the work that actually makes them money. In this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the 5 main types of productivity porn. And then I'm going to give you 5 of the most tactical action steps that you can implement literally by tonight. Not only to overcome productivity porn, but to also make a shitload more money. If you don't know who I am, my name is Hadi Solman. I'm the founder and CEO of Compass. And all I obsess over is getting myself and other entrepreneurs the highest return on their time. First type of productivity porn is consuming content over actually working on the constraint of the business. The constraint of the business is that one domino that you need to push over to actually scale your business to the point that it's making you more money. A lot of times the constraint of the business is just the hardest thing that the entrepreneur needs to do. And it's usually the thing that the entrepreneur is avoiding. But what happens with a lot of entrepreneurs is instead of doing that thing, they start watching productivity content, self-help stuff, where people are talking about getting shit done, but the person watching it doesn't actually get anything done. Next, meditations instead of work. There's a lot of entrepreneurs that I know that substitute the actual work that they need to do with meditations. And I'm not shitting on meditations here. I understand they're very helpful. But the thing is, if your meditation length is to the point where it obstructs the work that you actually need to do to make you money, that means that it's just a form of mental masturbation that you need to learn how to overcome. Next, having a 5 a.m. wake up time just to do nothing all day. And I see this with so many entrepreneurs. They wake up in the morning, whether it's 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., because they've been indoctrinated with the whole David Goggins mentality, which is good. I also wake up around 6 a.m. But the thing is, when you don't have a clear idea of what to do, all you do all day is waste time pretending to be busy instead of actually moving the needle forward. And the beautiful thing about business is that we have an objective measurement of whether or not you are productive. That is your revenue. If your revenue is not increasing, that means that you are either not working or not working on the right things. Just waking up early doesn't do anything for you if you haven't eliminated the podcast, eliminated the videos, eliminated watching Alex Hormozi or Stephen Bartlett. After eliminating, it won't do anything for you if you haven't prioritized the right thing, the thing that's actually going to make you money. And waking up early definitely isn't going to help you if you don't actually execute on what you prioritize. By the way, if you're resonating with the content, I am hosting a free 6-week focus challenge for entrepreneurs. What we do in these 6 weeks is we basically install systems of accountability for you. Why systems of accountability? Because all the biggest names in entrepreneurship understand how important it is.
To your point, even of alternative education in general, when you say, hey, you could learn the stuff on YouTube, et cetera, the issue that we're solving for is not that it's not a knowledge gap. The issue is an accountability gap, is that people don't do stuff.
There's a service that just sells accountability. They literally just like whatever your goals are, we'll just hold you accountable. Like that's it. It's all they sell. And I think you get, some touch base every week with somebody who just like, you said you were going to do this. Have you done it? What's the plan for this week? Basically, they just help people prioritize and eliminate. And I think that's pretty valuable.
We know what to do, but we can't do it because we don't have anyone observing us and anyone holding us accountable.
When you have someone looking at your stats, when you have accountability calls, it's like there's no running anywhere. You know what I mean?
Accountability is important because that's how you're going to get leverage. That's how you're going to get credibility. It's also how you're going to get equity. And if you have high accountability, that makes you less replaceable.
Now, throughout these 6 weeks, we give you accountability on the weekly, the daily, and the hourly basis. We have extensive systems and we give you a dedicated coach just to make sure that you are doing the things that you actually need to do. We're only looking for number 1, entrepreneurs. Number 2, people who aren't afraid of being held accountable. And number 3, people that know what they need to do. Then there's going to be a link below in the description. Once you actually reserve your spot, you can book a short 10 to 15 minute call with a coach and they'll walk you through the systems and you'll unlock a 20-minute video where I literally walk through every single one of the systems. With that being said, back to the video. Next, journaling instead of tracking. And by the way, I am simply optimizing for highest revenue here. So if that's not your goal, if you don't want to make more money, then disregard literally everything I said in this video. But as an entrepreneur, if you are counting the things that you're grateful for instead of tracking the metrics that you need to actually scale your business, you are doomed to fail. Let me give you an example. You can have a journal where you track the amount of push-ups you do every single day. But if you're not tracking how many actual calls you make, how many DMs you send, how many messages, how many emails, then you're obviously not going to make money. Now, if you want to be enlightened and broke, then be my guest. That's just not something that we're optimizing for. If you want that, you can do it. But if you're not tracking inputs where it actually matters in your business, you're not going to be benefited at all. Next, avoiding the real hard things. And the thing is, this is the biggest irony. And I know damn well this is going to piss a lot of people off because it's absolutely brutal and it's harsh. And I'm ready for the comments. The thing is, the whole self-help world, you look at David Goggins, Alex Hormozi, Chris Williamson, they all talk about doing the hard thing, no matter how hard it is. And I completely agree with this mentality. But the thing is, for a lot of people, that hard thing isn't waking up in the morning. It's not doing the push-ups. It's not even going to the gym consistently every day. I had a client once that I was talking to, and he said, I wish I was as disciplined in my business as I was in the gym. Doing the hard thing doesn't necessarily only apply to fitness. It doesn't only apply in the gym. It doesn't only apply when you're waking up. It doesn't only apply when you need to take a cold shower or jump in the sauna. It also applies when you actually need to do the hard, boring thing for a consistent long amount of time when you don't even know if it's gonna work. That, I'm telling you, for a lot of people is harder than going to the gym. And so there's this irony and there's this paradox that the people that try to optimize for doing the hardest things, all the self-help entrepreneurs that watch all these videos, those people are the very people that actually avoid doing the hardest thing all the time. Now, my goal is to give you the most actionable steps that you can literally take away today, implement by tonight, and double, triple, or hopefully even quadruple your work output. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you 5 of the most tactical action steps that you can implement. And if you do implement them, I promise you, you will never fall into productivity porn or mental masturbation ever again. First thing, if you watch videos, consume content, listen to podcasts instead of actually working on the constraint of the business, what you want to do is, first things first, identify the constraint of the business, then eliminate literally everything else. Now, let me break this down step by step. Identifying the constraint of the business is probably the highest leverage task that you can do. A lot of times we're working on the wrong things in our business, or we don't even know what to fix. There's only 2 main things that most businesses are constrained by. It's either supply or demand. Now, supply is a whole different conversation. You can pull pricing levers. You can do a lot of stuff if you don't have enough supply to give to the market. But for most people, you need to go out there and create the demand. So the constraint for most people is advertising, putting their product or service or whatever it is that you sell in front of people. Then what you need to do is eliminate literally everything else. Again, this constraint is the one domino that you need to push over to actually get to the point of scaling your business. So anything and everything else that you do is irrelevant. That can but may not include your cold showers, even waking up in the morning. It might include the gym. It might include journaling. Again, it's all about what you're optimizing for. If in this season of your life, you as an entrepreneur want to actually make money, you need to prioritize it over that stuff. I'm not saying completely quit the gym. I'm saying if it comes in the way of you actually working on the constraint of your business, then you have to make a choice and answer the question of what you really want. Do you want to be the disciplined self-help dude, or do you want to be the rich guy? And that's your choice to make. Next up, if you are stuck doing meditations instead of working, what you want to do is you want to block out time just to work without meditations. See, now there's a counterintuitive effect that meditations have. And by the way, I understand meditations have a lot of benefits, but the person that meditates acclimatizes themselves to doing nothing, because that's what meditation is. It's just sitting there and being content with doing absolutely nothing. And obviously doing nothing is a lot easier than sending the DMs, making the calls, scripting the ads, etc., etc. Whatever advertising task you have is a lot harder, trust me, than the meditation. So when you block out your time, break your task down into hourly blocks so you know exactly what you need to do. The key to making something easier to do than nothing is to break it down so much where the next step is so easy, it just makes no sense but to take it. I'll say that one more time. The way that you make something easier to do than nothing is you break something down so much that the next step is literally right there in front of you. It would be stupid for you not to take it. Next, if you have a 5 a.m. wake up time, but you still do nothing all day, this is what you want to do. You want want to wake up, no sauna, no cold plunge, and get straight to work. Again, this is if you're optimizing for revenue. Now, let me be completely honest. You have the advantage of being up early and having absolutely no interruptions. Nobody else is awake at that time. You usually have no other responsibilities. So you just have this uninterrupted block of time where all you need to do is just work. To make the most of this open time block, get up and get straight to work. And trust me, I used to be the dude who used to get up. I had a whole gratitude journal. Heck, the reason why I'm so specific with productivity porn is because I used to be a huge consumer of it. I used to wake up, I used to go to the gym in the morning, I used to take a cold shower. It would take me about 3-4 hours before I would actually get to the point of working. When I eliminated that 3 to 4 hours, that's when I actually started making revenue with our company. Next, if you're journaling instead of tracking, this is what you want to do. You want to, number one, stop journaling and start tracking inputs. Inputs are the most important thing when it comes to advertising, because to be honest with you, you can't control the outcome. Let me give you an example. I posted 3 short form videos on this channel every day for almost a year. That's what I committed to. And to be honest with you, I stopped doing that because I want to put more time to these long form videos. But I committed to doing inputs. I didn't commit to outcomes. I didn't commit to getting a certain amount of views because that's not something I could control. I just said 3 short form a day, every day for a whole year. I did the same exact thing with long form video. I literally lose equity if you don't get a long form every day, provided that I've actually recorded it. And obviously there's some days that I take off, but it's all scheduled out in my calendar. So my input right now, it's so simple. It's just 1 long form video a day. That's what I aim for. Next, if you are avoiding the real hard things, you need to understand that real productivity is actually doing the hardest thing. All the stoicism that you romanticize, when you hear Goggins say do the hard things, understand that you are being a hypocrite if you don't actually do the real hard things for you. Because I'm telling you, I know a lot of people that find it a lot harder to make 100, 200, 300 cold calls every day than they do to actually go to the gym. I'm telling you, you will earn your own respect to the highest degree when you actually do the thing that you know is actually hard for you to do. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. If you liked the video, like the video. If you didn't like the video, I guess don't like the video. By the way, you can leave a comment down below. Because I'm not at 10 million subscribers yet, I still read all the comments. So again, if you agree, disagree, whatever it is, you can leave those down in the description below. That's it. Ciao.